This is falling right into Vic Fangio's plans, my friend. The Philadelphia Eagles front office just made a strategic move in the coaching market that could completely transform the team's secondary in 2026. We're talking about a young 33-year-old coach with 2 Super Bowl rings on his resume and an impressive track record of developing elite cornerbacks in the NFL. I'm going to explain who this coach is, what he brings to Philadelphia, and how this hire could directly impact the Eagles' defense. But first, if you're a die-hard Eagles fan, smash that like button and subscribe right now because this breaking news is shaking up the entire city of Philadelphia. With the offseason in full swing and the 2026 draft rapidly approaching, the Philadelphia Eagles front office is working intensively to restructure their defensive staff. The team, which just lost Christian Parker to the Dallas Cowboys as defensive coordinator, is acting quickly to fill the holes created in the secondary, and the solution may have come from Foxborough. A name that just emerged in the last few hours is Mike Pellegrino, former cornerbacks coach of the New England Patriots. According to Matt Zenitz of CBS Sports, the Eagles are hiring Pellegrino as defensive backs coach, bringing to Philadelphia one of the most promising coaches in the NFL at 33 years old. Pellegrino isn't just any name in the NFL circuit. This guy started his coaching career in 2015 as a Patriots assistant and quickly climbed the ranks, becoming cornerbacks coach in 2019, a position he held through 2024. During that period, he worked directly with Bill Belichick, won 2 Super Bowl rings, LI and LA8, and built an impressive resume in developing secondary talent. This coach worked with Stephon Gilmore, who became the NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 2019. He worked with J.C. Jackson, who had one of the best interception seasons in recent memory before signing a mega contract. Malcolm Butler, Jason McCourty, Jonathan Jones. All these names passed through Pellegrino's hands in New England. The question is, how did a guy this young and successful become available on the market? Simple. Jared Mayo kept him on staff when he took over as head coach of the Patriots, but when Mike Vrabel returned to Foxborough recently, Pellegrino ended up being let go. The Patriots' loss is clearly the Eagles' gain. Now, let's talk about what this means for Philadelphia. The Eagles' defensive staff situation has gone through significant changes. Joe Casper, who was the safeties coach, was promoted internally to passing game coordinator and defensive backs coach to replace Christian Parker. The Eagles also have Roy Anderson as cornerbacks coach at the moment. And this is where things get interesting. Nobody knows for sure what Pellegrino's exact official title will be in Philadelphia. Will Anderson not return? Are the Eagles hiring Pellegrino specifically as nickelbacks coach? These are questions that don't have definitive answers yet. But what's clear is that Vic Fangio wants this guy on his staff for some specific reason. Think about it. Fangio is known as one of the most meticulous defensive coordinators in the NFL. He doesn't hire assistants randomly. If he's bringing in Pellegrino, it's because he sees something special in this coach, whether it's the ability to develop young talent or the deep knowledge of Bill Belichick's defensive scheme that can be adapted to Fangio's system. Adding Pellegrino not only strengthens the Eagles' defensive staff, but could also signal a shift in the team's approach to developing cornerbacks. Let's be honest, the Eagles have young talent in the secondary. Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean are 2 cornerbacks who just became All-Pros in their second seasons. Now imagine what Pellegrino, with his experience developing elite DBs, can do with these guys. But the story doesn't end there. Because at the end of the day, this hire is just one piece of a much larger puzzle that Howie Roseman and Vic Fangio are putting together for 2026. The Eagles just lost Christian Parker, one of the most respected cornerback development coaches in the NFL. Parker was instrumental in transforming Mitchell and DeJean into All-Pros during the 2025 season. He also worked with Patrick Surtain II in Denver and Jair Alexander in Green Bay, all elite cornerbacks. Losing a guy of that caliber to the division rival Cowboys is a tough blow. That's why hiring Pellegrino makes so much strategic sense. The Eagles aren't just filling a hole on the staff, they're bringing in someone who can continue the development work that Parker started. Pellegrino has the right pedigree, worked with Belichick, won Super Bowls, developed high-level DBs. He's exactly the type of coach who can maintain the standard of excellence that Philadelphia has established in the secondary. The Eagles are in a competitive window right now. Jalen Hurts is in his prime. The defense is loaded with talent. The team just hired Sean Mannion as the new offensive coordinator. Every piece of the coaching staff matters, especially when you're competing against teams like the 49ers, Rams, and yes, the Cowboys in the NFC. And let's talk about the timing of this hire. We're in the middle of staff rebuilding season in the NFL. Teams are poaching coaches from each other constantly. The Eagles lost Parker to Dallas, but responded quickly with Pellegrino. This shows that Howie Roseman isn't sleeping at the wheel. Vic Fangio's defensive scheme depends heavily on cornerbacks who can play man-to-man and make plays on the ball. Mitchell and DeJean have demonstrated they have that ability. But to continue improving, they need elite coaching. That's where Pellegrino comes in. With $85 million in cap space and the ability to free up even more money through restructures, the Eagles have financial flexibility to make bold moves in both free agency and the draft. But before making any roster moves, they needed to ensure they had the right coaching staff in place. Mission accomplished with Pellegrino. And while Pellegrino's situation solidifies in Philadelphia, another crucial question arises. What happens with Roy Anderson? Anderson has been the Eagles' cornerbacks coach, but with Pellegrino coming in, something's gotta give. Will Anderson take on another role? Will he leave? Or are the Eagles planning a completely new structure in the secondary? One possibility that makes a lot of sense is Pellegrino taking over as nickelback's coach. In modern football, the nickelback is basically a starter. These guys play 60-70% of defensive snaps because most teams play with 3 or more wide receivers. Having a dedicated, specialized coach for this critical position would be a smart move. Another possibility is the Eagles adopting a co-coach's approach, where Anderson and Pellegrino split responsibilities in the secondary. Anderson could focus on outside cornerbacks, while Pellegrino works with slots and nickelbacks. This would allow for maximum specialization and individual development. What we know for sure is that Joe Casper was promoted to passing game coordinator and defensive backs coach. This means he has overall supervision of the entire secondary. Pellegrino would likely report directly to Casper, who in turn works under Vic Fangio. This structure makes sense when you consider what the Eagles are trying to build. Fangio is known for complex defensive schemes that require DBs to understand multiple responsibilities. Having specialized coaches working different positions allows a level of teaching and preparation that simply isn't possible with just 1 or 2 coaches. And here's something that can't be ignored. Pellegrino is coming from a culture of absolute excellence. Bill Belichick's Patriots were known for having some of the best trained and most disciplined secondaries in the NFL. That DNA of excellence is exactly the type of culture the Eagles want to perpetuate. Look, let's be realistic about expectations. Pellegrino is young, only 33 years old. He was let go by the Patriots when Vrabel took over. This raises some questions. Why didn't Vrabel want him? Was there a fit issue, or did Vrabel simply want to bring in his own people? But here's the counterpoint. Being let go in regime changes is normal in the NFL. It happens all the time. And the fact that the Eagles moved so quickly to hire him suggests they did their homework and really liked what they saw. Adding Pellegrino also sends a clear message to the players. The organization is committed to putting the best possible staff in place. After a 2025 season where the offense plummeted to 19th in points and 24th in yards, the Eagles needed to show they're making real changes for 2026. And the changes don't stop just on offense with Sean Mannion. The defense is also evolving. Maintaining defensive excellence, the Eagles finished 5th in scoring defense in 2025, requires constant investment in both players and coaches. This hire shows that Howie Roseman is thinking strategically, not just about 2026, but about the next 5 years. Bringing in a 33-year-old coach means you potentially have someone who can grow with your organization, develop continuity, create a sustainable system. That's long-term thinking that separates winning organizations from mediocre teams. With Mike Pellegrino's hiring now official, with Joe Casper promoted, and with Roy Anderson's situation still undefined, what would be the best defensive coaching structure for the Eagles to maximize the talent of Mitchell, DeJean, and the rest of the secondary in 2026? Drop your opinion in the comments below. Don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later to update you with the latest Eagles news.